Hello and welcome to our final panel of the weekend. Who is sick of seeing my face? This is hour 8 for me. I'm Kelly Guentner. I'm your host, one of your two hosts for this panel. We are going to be interviewing comic creator Tom Nguyen. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. I just asked in the green room. And he is just an amazing, prolific creator. If you all haven't heard his name, you probably haven't read that many comics. Yes, I did the whole fake geek girl, fake geek boy thing. Sorry, not sorry. But we're really excited. So I am going to bring on my co-host, Hollis Cole Thompson. Welcome, Hollis.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Why don't you introduce everyone else? Because I have to deal with some behind the scenes issues.
The virtual fire extinguisher. I get it. Well, first I'm going to bring in our celebrity guest. Hey, Tom.
Welcome,
Hey,
Tom.
Hollis. Hey, Kelly. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
We are really excited to have you. You are one of the biggest names.
I'm sorry. I tried moving my monitor down, but I can't find a middle ground whether to look straight at the camera. So I have to consciously look at the camera. Otherwise, I'm either looking down or up.
I get it.
It is okay. We will take you wherever you're looking.
That's right. We've also got Mark with us, the operator, captain / supreme chancellor of Comic Books for Kids. Welcome, Mark.
Well, listen, it's a pleasure to be here. You guys have done an amazing job all weekend, and I can think of no one else, no one else, to bring in for the grand finale than my son, Tom. And that's a story in and of itself, and we'll let Tom share that with you.
Well, thank you. And, I apologize for having to reschedule this day this season. I know I had some delayed back and forth and stuff, but the gist of it is I'm happy that we finally made it work and that I'm here.
Me too. Well, and initially I told you the wrong dates because I was working on last year's dates and I did not get with the program. So that's on me.
Oh, well.
So it wasn't you.
I'll share the blame.
Oh, thanks. It's very gentlemanly of you.
Tom, 25, you've lost some weight. I mean, I haven't talked to you in a while or seen you, but congratulations on whatever you did.
Oh, thank you. Just more cardio.
You look great, man. You're making the rest of us look bad. Can I just say that?
It's just one of those things where it's like, it's getting older and it's father time beats all of us. He wins in the end. So I'm trying to stave off father time for a while with my joints and everything.
Listen, I'm going to probably hop off and let the amazing Kelly and Hollis do what they do magically best. But I promise you I'll be listening and I will hop back on before this event ends.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tom.
It was so great to see your face, Pops.
Son, right back at you. And yeah, there's a story there, and maybe you guys will get into that. We'll talk soon.
I'd be more than happy to.
We'll talk soon.
Take care. Talk to you soon. Yes.
We appreciate you, Mark. Well, Tom, why don't you tell us a story about you and Mark?
Well, Mark reached out to me a few years ago, and he asked me to do some work for him to help out. He explained, what his role was, comic books for kids, and it's such a wonderful cause that he's doing. And once, I think the first time we were on the phone, we ended up talking for over an hour. We just kind of hit it off, on how much he was a fan of comics and, what his organization does for children's hospitals around the world and for troops. And, I was totally on board with that. But, I call him dad, I call him Pops or dad because, for someone that, I only have known for a few years, his support of me and his, rooting for me and vouching for me and my career and everything It was very father-like. I mean, it really is like a second dad, the way he really is, so caring, checking in on me and my family, and just our love of comic books, and he's seen my work before, so he has already been a fan, or he already is a fan. But yeah, just that love and support, just from his heart, just reminds me of a father figure. So I just, I call him my dad too.
I love that. That is absolutely Mark. That's been my experience with Mark too. He just has that paternal energy, which I think goes back into why he started this charity, because he cares so much and he cares about kids he's never met. And
Yeah.
that's who he is as a person. And that's
Well, he makes, and relating to that, he makes you feel like you're all one family. You're part of his family. And once you're in, you're in for life, whether you like it or not. So but
so true. But you can't help but like it, because first of all, it's a great cause, and second of all, Mark's just so great. So
yeah, we
what's
need
not
more
to like?
ambassadors like him. I have not yet had the pleasure of meeting him in person, so all of our conversations have been on the phone. This is the first time I've actually communicated with him live, seeing him. So this is as close to in person as we have gotten to meet. But in the past, we had attempted to, see if I was able to be at the same shows that he's at, primarily C2E2 in Chicago area. But just haven't been able to make it work with my schedule. It'll happen sooner or later. But yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful that he's in my life.
Oh, well, C2E2 is one of my home cons because I'm only like 2 hours away. So if you come to C2E2, I'm giving you a hug to thank you for being here. Oh, we are.
What about you, Hollis? Where are you from?
I am in the South. So I'm in a city called Texarkana, which is literally on the border between Texas and Arkansas. So I live in Texas technically, but it's a 5-minute drive to the border. And I work at one of the branches of the University of Arkansas on the Arkansas side. So that is very interesting living situation for me.
So that's similar to my sister. She lives on the Georgia side of, right on the border between Georgia and Tennessee. But she travels to Tennessee a lot, and the airport that I typically would fly into would be like Chattanooga, like the closest city that she's in. But yeah, very similar situation.
Cool.
So how did this podcast come about? The multiverse.
Oh boy. So in 2020, a bunch of my friends were sad that cons were canceled. And one of my friends was like, knew I was an organizer and was like, hey, Kelly, it would be really cool if someone, meaning you, my friend had this idea, but my friend's like, I'm not an organizer, but you should put on a virtual con. And then I did. So I did, because I'm a sucker. And then afterwards, everyone was like, that was really fun. You should do it again. And also, you should really like fold charity into it. And I love doing charity anyways. I usually do in-person cosplay and like hospital visits or raising money. And of course, I couldn't do that in 2020. So I was like, yeah, that'll really scratch my itch to help out still. So I just kept doing it. And I was like, and then I found comic books for kids, because at first we were just every year choosing a different charity. And then we found comic books for kids, and we're like, well, obviously it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a great cause. I mean, it's at first I didn't realize the scope of the countrywide and worldwide reach that it has. I just think it's fantastic. Now I do remember 2020. Oh my gosh, that's when 2020, 21. That's when virtual cons kind of exploded.
Yes.
So it was really interesting times. But the one thing I miss the most is 24/7 Walmart. Or just 24/7 establishments in general.
Same.
Because I'm one of those weird. Because I'm pretty nocturnal, being like a typical artist guy. I do most of my best work in the middle of the night when everyone else is sleeping. and it wasn't unusual for me to just step out, just to take a break and just go to Walmart, just go whatever's open, and just kind of browse and take a breather, go up and down the electronics aisles, good, shop for food, some bad food,
Junk food. Yes.
food.
I do love that we get to do grocery pickup, that has remained.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that the one relic or one good thing that came out of 2020 that yeah, the 24/7 Walmart I miss too.
Yeah. Do you guys even have 24/7 like diners anymore there? Like you
I don't think so.
Because we
Waffle House is
Waffle
a
House.
staple of the South anyway.
I
and
always go to
yeah.
Waffle House when I'm in Tennessee.
There
That
you go.
liminal
Always
space
24/7.
that is Waffle House.
What about Crystal? Because Crystal's in the South, but I mean our equivalent is White Castle,
Mm.
Oh,
and
Sadly-
that has remained 24/7 here in Minnesota.
My corner of the South in East Texas / South Arkansas sadly doesn't have either of those.
Oh,
So
you have
I am
Whataburger?
completely cut off from that whole part of life. Yep.
How about Whataburger? Do you have that?
Yes, we
I
do
know
have
Whataburger's
Whataburger.
in Texas, but is it in your area?
Yeah. And they actually are 24/7 now that you mention it. Yep. So Whataburger is
nice.
basically
Yeah, I love Whataburger. I'm going to be in San Antonio for next week, just for one weekend.
Nice.
Just not business related, just purely personal, visiting friends. And it'd been about I think 10 years since I've been there, been back to Texas. And
Fun.
that's one of the things I look forward to as well.
I did not realize you were a Minnesotan. So I'm Wisconsin, so we're neighbors.
Oh, hey, nice. Hello, neighbor. I'm
Hello.
surprised we don't run into each other more at like the Midwest shows and stuff.
Right. I usually actually end up going down to Chicago more often than I go to, because unfortunately Milwaukee doesn't have many shows,
Right.
and I'm right down on the border, so Chicago's 2 hours from me. But I have ventured to Minnesota for the Uncanny Experience. I don't know if you've been to that one.
Someone just told me about Uncanny Experience last year. Like, just give me a quick rundown of it. I mean, that sounds wild.
It's
Like, I
fun.
would love to go there just as a fan. And just
It's-
experience that.
It's worth it. For anyone who doesn't know, Uncanny Experience, it's fan run, so I don't think Marvel hasn't given the okay, but it's fan run, but it's pretty much a very immersive story-based X-Men convention. And they hold it in this old building that pretty much looks like Xavier's mansion.
Yeah, don't they transform it?
They transform it.
Yeah,
It is
that's amazing.
so cool.
Would you guys ever get into X-Men 97?
Yes. I loved
That's
it.
pretty cool, huh? I
I'm
remember
so-
watching the cartoons back when I was young. You know, when
Me
they were
too.
aired. Of course,
Yeah,
growing
me
up,
too.
I mean, I grew up right in that period, the whole Jim Lee, X-Men era, the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, and Rob Liefeld, New Mutants, X-Force, and then all forming Image Comics. I mean, that was literally like my teenage years, and you could probably guess that was a huge influence on my decision to go into comic books.
I can imagine. That's why I'm a cosplayer, and that's why I write.
Is Wonder Woman your
superhero
favorite?
Black Canary is my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Wonder Woman is definitely.
I'm pretty sure I've worked on some books with Black Canary in it. When you've been in the business as long as I have, you've pretty much touched just about every major character from well, at least DC Comics for me. Most of my career has been with DC Comics. Very few stuff from Marvel, but
And you've
yeah.
done a lot with Justice League. And so I chose Wonder Woman because you've done so much with Justice League. And I do love Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is one of my go-tos for charity. But
and she's one of my more requested characters to do sketches of, when I'm at Comic Cons.
I'm not surprised. Do you have a favorite character of the ones that you've worked on?
That's an interesting question when people ask me this.
I'm sorry.
I have a favorite character, but he's not necessarily my favorite character to draw. So
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite character has always been Spider-Man, ever since I was a child. but he's not my favorite one to draw just because it's so detailed and the webs and stuff, and then the wacky positions you put him in, and then the webbing that he shoots out of. I put a lot of work into that. But as far as to draw, I mean, I like to draw many characters. I get a lot of Batman requests because of my association with that book, Justice League. Batman characters. I mean, I like Batman characters to draw. I think they're some of the funnest to draw, because especially when you consider the villains. The villains are so fun. They're legendary. And who doesn't like Batman?
Yes.
And plus, with the resurgence of the Red Hood over the last decade and a half, that kind of gave my relevance and career like a second wind. So that was really interesting, how my career has kind of, that the trajectory of my career has been interesting, to say the least. This year will be the 30th year, I believe. Let's see, I broke in December of 1996, and we just had December 95. So yeah, 29. Yeah, this will be my 30th year coming up.
Oh, congratulations! That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's pretty insane to think about. Now, the last decade has been largely television, as it's kind of transitioned. I still have a minor foot in comics, but I don't do nearly as much comics. I don't do comics full time like I used to. So now I just freelance. I still draw full time, but it's just not for comics anymore. It's mostly television related projects now. But because of my credentials that I've been lucky to acquire over my career, I still have, I guess, enough relevance for people to keep inviting me to do like this, virtual content here, this podcast. But no, I'm still fortunate enough to get invited to do shows and do signings and stuff. And I think there is some crossover with television and comics. I mean, they're both media, they're both pop culture related. And one of the TV shows that I'm known for working on really does use my comic book style work in it. So I mean, it's not like I'm giving up that style of drawing, but my drawing has taken slightly different diversions through my career. In the end, I'm just kind of lucky enough to still do it.
That any artist can tell you it's hard to make a career out of it. So that's awesome that you can. I love this comment from Joseph Hedsley. He says, he draws pretty good.
Joseph is a dear friend of mine. He's also a former student when I used to teach online. And he's from Clinton, Tennessee. And every time I go to Tennessee, he comes out and he sees me and we hang out a bit. So it's good to see Joseph. I think I've known Joseph now for over 15 years, I want to say.
Wow. Very good.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping in, Joseph. Good to see you.
That's sweet.
Since you brought up Under the Red Hood, I really wanted to talk to you more about that, because out of all the work you've done, that's the one that has meant the most to me. That's one of my favorite Batman comics.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So tell me about what the behind the scenes process was for that, because I know the decision to bring Jason back was a pretty big deal. And if I'm correct, you had a pretty big hand in the character design for Jason as the Red Hood. So
not as much as you think. So all credit where credit's due. I mean, that was all conceived by the writer Judd Winnick. And a little funny aside, Judd Winnick, he was, I believe, on the first season of MTV's The Real World back in the 90s when they were doing, they were testing out reality television at the time. I mean, they were really at the forefront, the pioneers of reality television. A bunch of people living in a house and seeing their dynamics play off each other. So Judd Winnick was part of that. That's how I knew him before he, broke into comics as a writer.
And I did not know that.
Yeah. Look up his history. It's really interesting. That's all Judd Winnick. I mean, my role at the time, I mean, I broke in as an inker, so I was an inker. I was the main full-time inker on that book, and Doug Mankey was the penciler. So Doug and I were the, I mean, I'm not I'm not downplaying like my role in the whole thing, but we are the main art team on the key issue Under the Red Hood, the first appearance. So but yeah, I mean that as far as like the decision, I mean that's all Judd Winnick and the editors behind the scenes that kind of came to that conclusion. I'm not privy to that stuff. Doug and I, we just kind of, Doug follows the script, and then I just take Doug's pencils and then I refine it, do the finished art. Alex Sinclair puts his magic with the colors on there, and then we throw the letters on, and then it just goes to print. I will say at the time, this is always a funny story to tell. At the time, we were coming off of Justice League. So I think we had a 2-year run on the Justice League of America. And when we were on from, I think 2001, 2002, I can't believe it's that long. Time just flies. We broke, I believe, the top 10. It had been a while, I think, since we had a flagship type of book that, was a reliable top 10 seller at DC Comics, because we got our asses kicked by Marvel all the time. I shouldn't say that, but Marvel was very popular. They had a lot of books in the top 20. So, we helped establish JLA as a serious, contender for a very mainstream flagship type of book with all the major characters, Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, Wonder Woman. And then after that, we went and we did a 12 issue called a maxi series, a spin-off called the Justice League Elite. And then when that ended, we went on to Batman. And the first issue we did was Batman issue 635, first appearance of the Red Hood. And to us at the time, we didn't think anything of it. To us, it's like, oh, okay, we got another gig. We have work for another, year or so. So we just treated it like a job. I mean, cool story and everything. But, we treated every book like, okay, this is our job for now. And then when we're done with it, we just don't look back. We look forward to the next gig. So that was, I think, at the very least, it was my thought process. And if I could speak for Doug, it's probably similar. We have very similar thinking and approach on how we, do our work in comic books. But it wasn't, and then after Batman, I think we were on for a little over a year, if I'm not mistaken. We got the Under the Red Hood storyline out of the way. And then we moved on to do, I think I chipped in to do some Final Crisis with Doug. And then we went on to do some Blackest Night stuff. That was a big deal. The Green Lantern, I remember it was like the 2008 to 2009, or I don't know. But it was literally like the biggest event that DC had going on at the time. I mean, we were doing appearances for it at Comic Cons and, just kind of helping hype and promote it. I finally started to do some penciling myself during that whole time. And for the longest time, because us as creators, if we sell enough books, we are lucky enough to get royalty checks based on the sales. And the royalties would come like every quarter, so every 3 months. And you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know how much you're going to get. You don't know what's going to sell. And my biggest checks always came from 2 things, maybe 3, like Justice League, Green Lantern stuff, and Final Crisis. Final Crisis was it was amazing because of those 3, Final Crisis, I easily did the least amount of work. But, it must have sold extraordinarily well because the checks would rival like what would come out of Green Lantern. And then something happened around, I think, 2009, 2010, where all of a sudden I got a package in the mail from DC Comics. And what it was a DVD of the animated movie Under the Red Hood. I'm like,
oh, I love it.
What? And it came with like a letter, and it said something like, here's a copy of the movie. I had no idea that they were making it, by the way. Total surprise. here's Red Hood, and I think maybe they threw in like $150 check or something like that as a tip. Like, here, thanks. Go buy some dinner. and I didn't. To this day, I haven't watched it. Believe it or not.
Oh,
What I did was I went straight to the special features section just to see if they like used any of our artwork, and they did. So that was kind of funny. That's all I cared about at the time. And I still want to watch it. I am so bad. I am so far behind on all the popular TV shows and movies that if I don't watch it for a while, I'll probably never get around to watching it. But the other reasoning behind that is I worked on the original source material. Like what's the point of watching? I suppose I kind of want to see how they adapted it. That's kind of cool, I guess. I know I'll watch it. I did watch, however, the Red Hood appearance on the what was that live action show on?
Teen Titans, right?
Titans,
or Titans. It was just called Titans. That's right.
That was cool. Hollis, did you see that?
I did not actually.
Gosh, you gotta look it up. They ripped it off. I mean, it was almost straight out of the comic book panels.
That's
good.
Cool.
They used.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Unfortunately, I got no money from that.
Oh.
But going back to the royalties, so it would always be Green Lantern, Justice League, Final Crisis, and then from behind, out of nowhere, over the next few years, all the way up until now, we're talking 2009, 2010, all the way up till now, Red Hood, top. Everything's under Red Hood. They've done several reprints. They last year, I think they came out with a cool deluxe hardcover edition. I've been told that they're working on another release, I think it's going to be like a mini sized one or something. So that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's the gift that keeps giving. So
I love that.
Yeah.
And we have someone watching in Ireland. So Brendan McKinley says, hi all, greetings from Ireland. Hello, Brendan.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Hey.
That's pretty cool.
Speaking of Ireland, what a coincidence, because just this weekend, I was working on a logo. Oh, okay, so you see this shirt I'm wearing?
Yes. Psycho Killer.
Right? So I designed this shirt for my friend, Tommaso. Tommaso Ciampa is a wrestler for AEW. He just signed with AEW last month, and he used to be a WWE guy. And I'm the guy that is working on his logos, his shirt designs, and some of the cool art stuff for him. And I just did a St. Patrick's Day version of this that will be released. That will be promoted and released very soon. And I mean, I had I had to use the subtle colors of the flag of Ireland in the background. Yeah, it was really fun. So,
I love that.
Hello.
That's really neat. Eli Cash also said this is a little freaky because he was literally thumbing through one of your art books.
Oh yeah. I have two of them. I have one came out in 2006 and one came out, I believe, 2008 or 2009. So the first one was how to draw comic books, and the second one was like kind of a sequel on how to draw women, which is kind of like an expansion of the first book. But
nice.
I've always been meaning to, and I've been kind of slowly collecting and chipping away at a new one. But that's just the side. That's just when I have time type of things. Basically, it's an expansion of the How to Draw Women book without the editing and censorship and brand new material. So in my first two books on how to draw, I was, because, you have to work with publishers, and publishers have editors. So, and they also have a page limit count. And it was like 128 pages I was limited to. I had probably 500 pages worth of information I wanted to share.
Oh, wow.
That had to be edited down to 128. So my pet project, in my spare time, is just doing a masterful, like unedited, like a director's cut, author's cut.
I love it.
So, but yeah, thank you so much. Was Eli? Eli was.
That's Eli. Yep.
Thank you, Eli, for picking that up.
And since we're at the halfway point, I'm gonna play our video with the comic books for kids spiel that just tells people how to donate, and then we'll get back to our questions.
Yes.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is partnering with Comic Books for Kids to raise money for their cause. Their mission is to provide comic books to children in hospitals and cancer centers across the United States, Canada, and the UK. We believe in the importance of providing stories that promote hope and bravery to kids who are facing things that are scarier than any supervillain. And we truly believe in this cause. To donate, you can either go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/The Multiverse Fundraiser or directly to comicbooksforkids.org.
All right. So we are currently at $860 raised. This link is going to be open on our Facebook page for the next week. So until next week, Saturday, just in case you need to wait till payday to donate. Otherwise, donations are open on the Comic Books for Kids website year round. So,
yep, and I'll be happy to share that this week as well on my social media.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we have two questions going in the comments. So I'm going to go back to Haley's question, and she asked, what are the best markers or other art mediums for comics? That's a good question.
So that's a great question. And I'm assuming this is strictly, I mean, obviously it's traditional media, not digital. Digital is so popular now, you know, a lot of people like to draw on their iPads, and, you know, some people have fancier setups at home. But you know, you can use anything that makes a mark now. You don't have, please don't feel like you have to buy the most expensive things. An example I like to use is I could give a beginning or an amateur artist the highest quality paper, you know, heavyweight, the finest inks, and the most expensive brushes, you know, made out of, you know, pure sable hair or something. And you can give me a broken Crayola crayon from whatever, Target, and a used paper towel, and I can create something that's sellable. So don't fall into the trap that you need to spend excessive amounts of money to make art. Okay. Well, with that said, there are materials and tools that will make your life a little bit easier and will actually affect on how they might look as far as the quality and the permanency of the inks and colors. For pencil, honestly, just use any pencil. It doesn't matter. You can use a pencil from a cheap pencil from the convenience store. I often do. The reason being is most of my pencil work gets erased or covered up anyway, so it doesn't matter. People won't see it. As far as inks, now you can, if you'll pardon me for a second, you can use something. I started off, you know, doing traditional inking. So we, you know, buy bottles of ink like this. Black Magic. You could find this at any art and hobby store. They have other brands too. Black Magic isn't as good as what it used to be. Now I kind of call it gray magic because it's so watered down. You know, get yourself a nice quality brush. Usually a number 0 to a number 2 will work. Alternatively, you can use like a brush pen. So now these are popular too. This one in particular is like a Japanese model, but they have other like English-based, Western-based models that are similar. It's just like a brush pen. And, you know, in the middle of it is a well full of ink, and you know sometimes you can replace that, and you just kind of, you know, it's just like a capped marker. What I use a lot, to be honest with you, I use two things now. Isn't it convenient that I have these art tools like at arm's reach?
You were planning on this.
Yeah, I know, right? I was hoping. Please, someone ask me about art. So everyone's heard of these, the Micron pens. You could find these at any art and hobby store. They're very popular, cheap, portable, clean, makes permanent lines, clean lines. They have different sizes. This is an extra fine size, but you can get thicker sizes. And I use these along with this. It's made by the same company, Sakura. And this is they make their own brush pens. You can see that there. Camera's not focusing. There we go. They make their own brush pens. I don't know if you can see it that well. Anyway, but I use these two together when I travel. So if I have to do work on the road or I need to do Comic Cons where I need to sketch, these are my go-tos. I mean, even at home, I'll use these just because it's so simple. You know, I'm done with this. I just throw it away, buy a new one for a couple bucks. So at least these aren't as messy as the bottle of ink. You know, a bottle of ink, you got to take off the cap, you got to dip it, and sometimes you spill, and I've had that accident as well. So that's what I recommend for inking. Let's see, pencil, I got that covered. You can use anything. Paper, you want to use something. We use generally an 11 by 17 inch Bristol board. And Bristol board it's thicker than paper. It's thicker than, like, say, copy paper. It's almost like cardstock. That way it's just more durable. It handles abuse of ink and eraser a lot better than regular paper. And yeah, those are markers. So markers, I believe they're in the category of alcohol-based markers, like Copic. People are really popular in Copic. I used to be a Copic guy. I mean, they blend well. They look like watercolor if you use it correctly. But I have converted now to Olo marker, OLO. And these are double-ended. So I've been using these.
Ooh.
You see that there. And you can use, the reason why I love these is because actually in the middle, you can take it apart and you can put two different colors on each end. Or you can use the same color and have double the capacity. Just flip it over. Well, that's what I like about
That's
these.
really cool.
And these are, I believe these are more cost effective than Prismacolors and do just as good of a quality as, or not Prismacolors, but Prismacolor is another one too. I haven't had much experience with that, but I believe these are even cheaper than Prismacolor, if I'm not mistaken, and Copic markers. So you get more value out of these. So that's what I use. I literally have an entire set. I invest in
Ooh. I'm taking notes, by the way, because
Are you an artist too?
I am not on your level, but my nephew asked me to write him a story he could read because I'm an author, and I decided it needed to be a comic.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Thanks.
Yeah, anytime you have any questions or anything, just shoot me a message.
Thank you. That's very sweet. I don't know if I'll be showing it to the world when I'm done with it, but he'll get a kick out of it because he loves comics.
Oh, you can show it to me.
I will.
I'm excited to see the end too.
Oh, yeah. I did post a drawing. So it's going to have a squonk because I love cryptids, and squonk is my favorite cryptid.
So what kind of cryptid is that?
I'm sorry. I'm turning this into the Kelly show. So the squonk is this cryptid that is on basically in the forests of the East Coast. The squonk is this wrinkly little guy that hides in the forest and cries because he thinks he's ugly. And if you see a squonk, he will collapse into a puddle of tears.
Oh, that's
He's
really
so
cool, actually.
He's so cool. Oh, hold on. I have a stuffed squonk. I'm sorry.
Yes, I want to see.
Hollis, you ask a question while I go grab him.
Okay. I think we're getting into this already, but obviously things have changed in the comic book industry since you broke in. But is there, if you were talking, if there's anyone in the audience right now who is young, who is aspiring to be a comic book artist, what kind of advice would you give them for 2026?
Couple things. Really try to establish your social media presence. A lot of artists these days are actually being hired based on their social media, on how popular.
Wow.
Now, whether you feel that's right or not, I mean, that's another discussion altogether. because now you're starting to get into, being hired based on your popularity or your following compared to your abilities, right? So that's another debate for another time. But that's the way it is now. And you're right; things have changed. Back in my day, we'd have to actually just physically show our portfolio, and they still hire that way. It really just depends on what company and the editor of the books you're showing it to, on what they prefer to see. But along that note, is try to, if you can, go out to some of these comic book conventions, big or small. At least kind of get to see what other artists are doing, because a lot of these shows, as you know, will have a lot of artists, amateur and professional. But it always helps broaden your perspective and give you ideas when you can see what the people that you're aspiring to be a part of are doing. Um, on top of that, the bonus is if you go to the bigger conventions, you have the potential to actually meet some of these publishers and their editors and start to establish a connection there. I mean, people have been hired because they keep showing up at the same convention some of these editors are, and just, forming a good acquaintanceship with them. And, you'll never know if they're going to be in a bind and say, oh, I'm kind of in a deadline crunch with this book. Who do I know who's available? Oh, that one guy that I met a couple times at the convention. Yeah, he's been improving, and he's a nice guy. Let's give him a shot. You just never know. Just try to. Networking is a necessary evil. Networking it can feel overwhelming and a lot of work, and some people are kind of not socially comfortable with the whole idea of networking. But it's, think of it maybe as a way to practice your social skills. And really the motivation is, if you try to network and meet some of these people, they are the ones who are the best ones to give you advice on what to do, on how to get better, and how to get closer to your goal of breaking into the business. So that and social media, of course, I don't think I need to say this, but of course, try to take all criticism to heart, whether you believe the criticism or not, it's valid or not. It's hard. It's hard to take criticism from other people when you're starting out, because, at least for me growing up, I mean, I only had my point of view on how I saw my work, and my friends and my family's point of view. And of course, everyone's going to be supportive, but you really need that objective, hard look at your artwork, your portfolio, and really need to be honest with yourself and see what needs to be worked on, what can use some advice, and what can be improved. You might be great at drawing people, at drawing faces, but you might, suck at drawing backgrounds. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or you might be great at drawing sci-fi stuff, but when it comes to mundane stuff like drawing a house or a car, you suck at it. You have to be prepared to draw everything and to know how to draw everything. I mean, you don't have to know how to draw every little thing by heart. I mean, that's what reference is for. But you have to be able to draw enough to tell a story and make it believable.
Brought the squonk.
Oh, that's a squawk is what you call it?
A squonk.
Squonk. Okay.
Yep. And then this is my little. Okay, let's see. That's my little sketch of him.
Oh, so you did that?
I did that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very clean.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I got into I kind of get into the more realistic cryptids like Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot.
Yes.
Like I always was into that stuff.
I love them all.
Yeah.
The book is going to be about a family of cryptid caretakers. So.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be fun.
Do you have a target date on when you'd like to have it done?
End of this year.
It never works out that way. I mean, we always have like target dates in our head and when we want to get projects, personal things done, and it never hits it.
My goal is the end of this year, and it's going to be aimed at like middle grade because that's my nephew's age. So
yeah,
it's going to be fun.
I'd like to try to get a children's book done by the end of this year.
Nice.
Personal pet project.
That actually feeds into, we were going to ask what you're working on. Is that what you're working on now?
I haven't started on it yet, and it probably won't get done this year. But that's what I'd like to do.
Well, then you and I can bug each other. Like, how's your book going? How's your book going?
We can do a crossover.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. No, we'll cross promote for sure. Motivate each other. So right now, I am working. I just got done, like I said, doing another logo design for my wrestler friend.
Yes.
And he'll probably promote it on his social network. Again, his name is Tommaso Ciampa, Ciampa. And he's got a big following, and I'm sure he'll be promoting that. He's been wearing my shirts for the past month on TV every week on AEW, which is if you have HBO Max, they show that. I think is AEW TNT, I think. But anyway, I just got done doing a Disney related project, and I'm afraid that's as much as I'm allowed to say at the moment until we see more movement on it. But hopefully by summertime, I can speak more freely about that. It's in development, so I don't know where it's at right now. But I can probably safely expect to start on season 28 of Big Brother late April, early May of this year. That's probably the TV show that I'm most associated with for the last decade. So since 2014, I've been working on that TV show for the last, like every season, and some of the winter seasons too, when they do specials. But yeah, I mean, basically it's just every season is different. Every part of the year is different as far as what I'm working on. So that's what I'm working on right now. It's just doing some stuff for Tommaso and just waiting for the next TV gig. Just wrapped up the Disney related gig. And just kind of, I'm always behind, just trying to catch up on people's commissions and stuff. I've always got people, breathing down my neck for that. But, it is what it is.
That's fair. And Ruth Ann wants to know.
Hey, Ruth. I need to tell you guys about Ruth. Ruth is my one of my dear classmates from my high school.
Oh, and I love that.
She's branched
off.
Wow. She's branched off doing photography now. And I've been doing some photography myself over the last decade. So it's we have another thing to share in our conversations. This is great because she was in my art class. But
wow.
Are you bringing back the Switch? Well, the sequel to the Switch came out December. But you know what? Let me send you a book, Ruth. If you don't have that, I'm going to send you one. So just leave me a comment or a message. I'll be happy to send you that. So good question.
Also, I agree with Haley. Haley says it's comforting to hear a fellow creative say he's always behind because yes. So thank you for being honest about that, Tom.
There's no reason not to be honest. It is what it is. It's
relatable.
You get behind. It's a case of just really biting off more than I can chew, and it's not something that I can necessarily foresee. Part of it too is the mindset. Being a freelancer my entire life, when it rains, it pours, or it's feast or famine. So. Yes. I'm constantly, my mind is kind of wired to try to take on as much work as I can. The last probably 5-6 years, I'm trying very hard to be more selective, but when it's like wired into your brain, it's hard because you never know. I mean, work could dry up and no one could call me and I'd be unemployed. So
also when you have multiple creative interests and when so many projects sound like something you would enjoy, it's hard to say no.
It is hard because part of the joy for me is the making people happy when they see my work, whether it's a collector that's collecting my work or just people who pick up the books that I've worked on, or they bring them to my table at a convention to sign, and then they tell me about how it's their favorite story. Even like earlier today when Hollis was saying how much Under the Red Hood meant to him. Like, to me, like, I will go through periods in my life, in my career, where I'm just so burnt out. And honestly, it's like, I just don't want to draw for like a couple months. I just want to not even look at the drawing board. I don't even want to touch a pencil. And but when someone like Hollis says, like how much the Under the Red Hood meant to him, it's like, oh well, maybe it's worth it after all. Okay, I'll draw again. But it's almost like a high. It's like a drug high, and I've always been like that. I think that's a really integral to me growing as an artist, are compliments and validations. It's like, okay, well, what I'm doing really is, people really do enjoy it. Okay, I'll keep going. So, because honestly, I don't know, it's hard. What if people never liked my work? Would I still draw, even if I was adept at it? I don't know. Because part of me, like I said, part of me is that high. I would probably still draw, but I would find a way for people to like my work.
There you go.
I would shove it in enough people's faces to find that one person who will like me.
You'd be like, you must love me.
But,
my work.
Now that I've said that, I guess it's an intrinsic quality for art to be shared.
I agree.
Because is there really a point of creating if no one else? Because art is a form of communication, right?
100%.
So like, let's say I do these drawings, but then, like someone like a god says, no one will ever be able to see your work. You can draw all you want, but no one will see it.
That would be a curse.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be a curse? That's a good word. So, but
I resonate with that a lot because like my background, I'm a writer, not an artist. But my background is theater. I was a drama kid. And even though I've branched into things besides writing scripts, I still don't feel totally accomplished until I actually see that somebody has read what I wrote and there's some kind of audience, even though it's not really an audience, feedback. That is, right. I do think, one of the most rewarding parts of being a creative.
Yeah. Because as humans, a large part of our personality is built on feedback, audio, visual cues, feelings that we receive from the environment and from people. It's what really like literally shapes us, And for me, that's what art is, So I do things based on the feedback I get from people. I guess an example would be, I have a lot of fans that like the way I draw women in my comic books. Not that I'm actively trying to sexualize them or anything in my work, but just the lines that I use, how I draw their faces and their expressions and stuff. And that feedback made me want to get even better at drawing women, right? Lo and behold, I end up authoring a book on how to draw women. Now, if I never got that feedback, would I be as good as drawing women as I am now? I don't know. Probably not. But, it's just one of those things I could ponder on forever. There's so many different factors in life that influence like how you make things, how you perceive things, and how you enjoy things, I suppose.
I do like that. And Mark just popped into the green room, so I'm going to bring him on stage.
Can you guys see? I'm going to try and see if you can't see this real well. That's a shame. I'll tell you what it is. And that may be because there's a light on it. Let me take the light off. And you still can't see it. All right, I'll tell you what the scoop is because you can see it on our Facebook. The logo for our CB4K Awards was created by no one but the gentleman we have right here.
Oh.
And the story with that is, I remember calling Tom up and saying, son, I enjoy working with you so much. And you're going to find out that we're like Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. And I don't want you to leave. I really want you involved. I really want you to work. So I said, would you be so kind as to design our CB4K award logo? And Tom did. And it was phenomenal. And then because I wanted to work with him the next year, I sent him an email saying, Tom, it's not like you're busy with Big Brother and every other project you have. Could you like drop everything and in the next week or two upgrade the logo for 2025? A week later, there it was. 2026 rolls around 3 weeks ago. Son, I mean, we're getting pretty close to perfection. I mean, I don't know if there's anything you can do on this one. Tom is such a talented artist. He's such a visionary. He's got the spotlights on the awards. We have on our Facebook, we show the previous award that Tom designed and this year's award. And I don't think I'm going to be able to I'm going to have to come up with another reason now to bother Tom because it's so amazing. It's such great work. I'm writing the foreword for your children's book. You may never use it. You may never read it. You may never put it in the book, but I'm going to write it for you anyway.
Well, hey, since you brought it up, I'm going to hold you to that now.
I'd be, you know what, Tom? Not only that, maybe the charity can buy a few copies with the publisher and get them to kids in hospitals.
No, I didn't even think about that. We could have some for the children. That would be
more to discuss. Absolutely
but
more.
You know what? I mean, Mark is there's very few people in my life that I will drop everything to do something for if they need it. And Mark is one of them.
Mark's not one of them, but that's the point. I was waiting for you to say, and Mark, sorry, you're not one of them, but
no,
that's very kind of you.
But seriously, I mean, it's
oh yeah,
there's last year.
List.
That's last year's. That's last year's, and this year's. Bring that one up, and I'll talk through because this year's again, it's on our Facebook where we compare the two. This year's
there's some minor upgrades, but they were meaningful. I felt that they're
really, really good, and I showed several people who were like, I don't know how he did it, but he made it better this year because you've got the spotlights on
it's all AI. Surprise!
It's great.
So I'm not seeing this year's on the Facebook yet.
Go down on our Facebook. It's about 5 or 6 posts where we talk about the CB4K awards, and on the right you'll see a few of the you'll see them. I think it's probably only a couple weeks back.
Oh, okay. I might not have scrolled back enough. Let's see. I'm January 13th. Is it further back? Let's see.
Well, I mean, okay, you're going to make me take a look here. I'll find it for you and tell you what date it is.
Okay. Oh, never mind. I found it.
Got it? All right.
Yeah. Facebook is Facebooking.
Okay. So, I mean, I think we show the previous year, which you just did, and then we showed Tom's incredible enhancement to this year's with the spotlight now actually on the award itself, too. Yeah. You see on the right-hand side the pictures?
Okay. Let me make sure I'm
uploading. And if you can, it's just going to force everyone to have to go to our Facebook and look,
I mean, you all should be going to the comic book for kids.
There
Facebook.
It is.
There we go.
Very cool.
Yeah, Dad, I don't know about next year. I don't know what we could do to top that one.
Tom, I'll tell you what we do. We do a different project. We get you to see Chewy 2. We get you to give away stuff. I have a lot of ideas of what we can do. We'll figure it out throughout your very, very, hopefully very busy schedule. And because if you're busy, that's goodness.
Now that you mention it, I'm going to mark that weekend 2027
yes.
off as soon as I can, just to make sure that I can plan ahead and see if I can get that.
I want to say it's end of April next year.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, we already discussed that Tom needs to come to C2E2, so I can hang with him.
I watched every moment of this this discussion.
Good.
Well, hopefully you didn't fall asleep and take a couple cat naps throughout. Sometimes I can drone on and it can get boring.
No, it was.
No. Everything you said was very interesting.
You know, and I want to share with you, Tom, that my daughter, who Kelly's met, Michelle, because she runs the charity with me and she does the awards with me, is a huge wrestling fan. So when you were talking about Tommaso, I quickly snapped the shirt, and now she is absolutely geeking out because she knows she's sending me all this information about who Tommaso is and how he was WP.
Oh, really?
So she's like super excited that you're working. And she was like, "How did Tom get involved with the wrestling industry?" And we're probably over time, Kelly, so I probably shouldn't be asking that. But
no, it's fine. This is the last panel, so as long as Tom's okay with it.
So yeah. So long story short, I met Tommaso through his wife. So his wife used to be a producer on Big Brother, essentially my boss on Big Brother years ago. And that's how I met Tommaso. I met him when he was, coming up in the ranks before he signed with WWE. And so, I mean, I just knew him as Tommaso Whitney and not Tommaso Ciampa. And, I had dinner with him and I designed his initial logos when he was starting up at WWE and stuff. And we just remained friends since then. And I've been able to have lunches and dinners and go to a couple of his shows. And so it was all through his wife, who I used to work with closely, the TV show Big Brother.
Because it's a really cool design that you come up with for that shirt.
Thanks. And we have more coming out too. So I'm
you were saying that, yeah.
Doing ideas, but if you want to just shoot me your daughter's T-shirt size, I'm happy to send some Tommaso swag to her.
Aww.
And now this is the point, Kelly and Hollis, where I put my address and just say it's my daughter's address. So
your address, your T-shirt size.
Yeah. Your daughter
she wears events.
Yeah.
We can do that too.
Thank you, Tom. Listen, I think you mentioned this in the very beginning after I jumped off, but this may be the first time after 4 years that we've actually seen and talked face to face.
That's what he.
Yeah, I said that too. Yeah,
right.
Because we have never met in person.
I was trying to think about it. Is that really that might really?
That's really why Tom said yes to me. It wasn't about the event or me.
No, it's awesome.
No, I didn't even know Mark was going to be literally in the room as well. I mean, I knew that he was a part of the event, but I didn't think that he was.
Oh, Tom, if you heard, you have no idea how I was panicking because I had to do another event earlier. And I was panicking about saying we may have to shift Tom around because there's no way I'm not going to be on that panel. And so multiple weeks of stress and panic to make sure, I was on this one.
And then you're like, oh wait, I was looking at the wrong page of the spreadsheet because of the time zones.
Yeah, there's a little tab on the bottom that says Pacific time versus Central time. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And to be fair, okay, so the spreadsheet for this event has 4 tabs. Absolutely everyone has looked at the wrong tab and gotten the time zones wrong. Because when you plan an event across 4 time zones, everyone gets confused. So every year I threaten to use Greenwich Mean Time. And everyone thinks I'm kidding.
But originally, Kelly, Tom, I mentioned this. He was on yesterday's schedule initially, wasn't he? Or
no,
for some reason,
it was
always today.
It was David is who you. So David was the one who.
That's right.
But still.
That's the Tom. So thrilled to consider you not only a industry professional but really a very warm friend. And I mean, you said it. I can't be as eloquent in saying it as you did earlier on, but in every way, I look at Tom as my son, and if he's talking about there is no one who deserves more support and really pats on the back for everything that he's achieved. Tom, you deserve all the accolades you're getting because you're an incredible talent in this industry, and you prove that with the shirt you've designed and everything you continue to do.
See, Hollis, what did I say? That feedback, maybe I won't quit drawing after all.
There you go. I also see why you call him Pops now. Circle. He is such a supportive, such a warm guy. Mark is like anytime anyone gets a chance to be around him,
I would drop anything.
As we discussed yesterday, Hollis, this is just my AI avatar. I'm not really here. Guys, I'm going to hop off. I've enjoyed watching every moment of this, Tom. We'll catch up. I'm going to send you an email. Let's catch up on the phone a little later on this week or next, whenever you have time. I want to hear a little bit about how life in Minneapolis is now and the chaos. Hopefully things have settled a bit.
A little bit, but we can talk more about that.
But thank you so much for being on and for being, I mean, Tom, you were there for us in the early stages, and it means a lot. So thank you so much.
If you knew, and I don't think you'll ever know how much it meant to me for you to keep pushing me to do that special cover. I mean, we had a couple minor behind the scenes roadblocks. But you know what, guys? This is why I call him Dad. And
I wanted. Let's just simply say, without getting into more detail, Tom was going to do the cover, and I made that clear. We'll leave it at that.
I believe it.
Only dads do that. Only dads do that for their sons.
Always will, Tom.
We love you, Mark.
Love you guys. You guys have been incredible. Kelly, Hollis, please thank everyone on the team for all the work that went into doing this. It takes a long time to prepare a 3-day event. And every year it gets better and better. And I couldn't be more excited about how we finished the event this year with our friend Tom. Brilliant.
Tom, you're the best way to finish the event. I was saying that to Hollis before you jumped on. So we appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. It went by too fast. We had too much fun.
I agree. I do have one last question for you from Ruth Ann. She's asking if you will make it to 2026 New York Comic Con. I want to expand that. What cons are you going to this year? Do you know?
So good question from my friend Ruth. I do not know yet. It's still, even though some people have already had their entire years planned, it's still too early in the year. There's still too much chaos I have to wade through in my schedule for 2026. So I can't say yes or no yet to New York Comic Con because I believe that's the first weekend in October, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But later this month, on March 20th, 21st, and 22nd, I'm going to be a guest of honor at the Mid-South Con. That's in Memphis, Tennessee.
Ooh,
so
I know
that's another honor. It's going to be great. So I'll be there for 3 days. And then I'll do a 1-day show, a smaller show locally here in Mounds View, Minnesota in April. And then there's another show at the State Fairgrounds here in the St. Paul area here. And then, I think I have a couple more shows planned later this year. I think Baltimore, that's not till fall. And then another show. Like I said, I'm still working it out, but those are the ones so far I know for sure. We'll try to make it out to San Diego Comic-Con as I usually try every year. And as far as I know, those are the ones. Of course, anything can change at the last second, but yeah, those are the ones I'm focused on. And I'll continue to add more. I'll throw up a formal schedule on my social media when I'm all done figuring it out.
Perfect. And where is your social media for people who want to follow you?
You can find me just about anywhere. I'm on Instagram and Facebook primarily. I'm trying to get back into posting again. I'll go through periods of just being lazy about updating my social media, But I'm getting back into the groove again. Spring is coming. The weather's getting better, so gotta get things rolling again.
I feel that. Well, thank you for being here, for being an amazing guest. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Hollis, for, of course, being an amazing team member. And thank you all at home for donating, for watching, for sharing. We're currently at 860 in donations. The fundraiser is going until next weekend. So you still have time to donate, to share, to get the word out. And I do want to remind you all that Comic Book for Kids, their website, will take donations year-round. So thank you all. Hope you all had a great weekend. We had a great weekend with you. And just keep being awesome.
Thank you.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is partnering with Comic Books for Kids to raise money for their cause. Their mission is to provide comic books to children in hospitals and cancer centers across the United States, Canada, and the UK. We believe in the importance of providing stories that promote hope and bravery to kids who are facing things that are scarier than any supervillain. And we truly believe in this cause. To donate, you can either go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/The Multiverse Fundraiser or directly to comicbooksforkids.org.
The Multiverse Fundraiser would like to thank our sponsors: Earth Dog Studios, Clobberin Comics, The Art of Brian Rodman, Studio Moonfall, Elusive Comics, and of course, the Phoenix Sisters Entertainment Network for hosting this event. Learn how to support these businesses on the MVFR website.